Hi all, and uh, Sao-Sen here. Yeah, just yeah, gonna be playing some Archivist, I guess. I don't know, it's a little story thing because yeah, figured it would be. Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. Wanted to do something, and as much as there's like world building and uh, conlanging and important topics, sort of like dancing around as half baked ideas. They're still only half baked as things to do a video on. So yeah, for now this will do. Um, yeah. So let's see how we put this together. How are we going to do this? What do we want to put in? Which is the interesting piece of the story, do we think? Do I think? Uh, I think I am going to lean towards Skyweaver. In the beginning, there was only darkness and thread. A great spider waved stars into the sky and stretched her silk into worlds. Soon the great spider decided her creations were pointless if there was no one to admire them, and so from each web strand a creature dropped. An animal, an insect, a person. They say she still watches from above, weaving our lives into her tapestry. Some claim to see their fates glinting in the sky, like dusk in the light. Ooh, and an emotional legacy. I think I will go with the lover's letter. My dearest, I can no longer remain in the city, for the silence grows too loud to bear. I fear, my love, that I will forget how your voice used to sound. I left a coin beneath your pillow. It wasn't worth much in the times before, and it is devoid of value in this new world. Still, to me, it is the most precious token I have, one last anchor to the life we built. Please remember me for as long as you can. Which we've already gone down coins as symbology, so I'm going to stick with the coin. The veil is always wrapped. No one unwraps it, not even now. In some sects it was used for weddings, in others placed beneath the tongues of the dead. In both, it was currency for the spirit. What will this? Scholars claim these people worshipped a weaving god, but some translations suggest insects were sacred? Future readers will discuss this as typical of your people's emotional range. They frame the entire culture around one personal story. The veiled coin holds mystery, its purpose tied to rituals, or perhaps a sign of spiritual exchange. These interpretations distort the memories you've preserved, but they are trying. That is all they can do. Pulses sharply. A little bit do. Morality. Well, speech is sacred. Freedom to speak, if nothing else. The people know what made us who we were, our thoughts, our truths, our voice. To silence another was a crime. To speak in lies was worse. There was once music. Let us chant the harvest. The song was never written down, only passed hand to hand, voice to voice. The moon-faced girl, she laughs in times of torment, a friend, or perhaps a curse. During storms her laughter echoed, and when villages burned, her shadow danced through the ashes and flame. She smiled in times of ruin and war, but she held your hand when no one else would. Some believed she was a child of prophecy, others thought she was death. All agreed on one thing: she never wept. What did they understand? It is likely that the moon-faced girl was seen as a protective spirit, a guardian of lost children. You know that's wrong. There's nothing you can say that they will hear. The first time a name was spoken, it was spoken into water. And so, generation after generation, people carried on the tradition, believing that without it, a child would remain nameless, soulless. What else must I throw away? The great sin occurred. In the drowned city. A whole city sank, and no one can agree on why. Some say it was a flood sent to quench the greed of the place. Some say it was sabotage from those who envied the city's blessing. Some even say it was shame that cursed it to ruin. You remember the name, but it is no place in the archive. It's always interesting how often there's various flood myths and stories all over the place, which kind of makes sense, right? Floods are something that, because humanity pretty much requires water to survive, right? And for agriculture as well, of course, right? And with that, most civilization in some form or another has formed around a water source. And with forming around a water source, you end up with flooding as a danger. So it makes sense that flood myths would be common, right? You need water, floods will happen. It's that simple, right? The one, of course... Well, yes, the one we remember, the one we know best is... Well, as a folk tale, I suppose. There, where a bay, a rather large bay, out where we grew up, right, entire coastline, out deep into the sea, out far into the sea, is one massive bay, relatively shallow waters, of course. And the stories are that once upon a time, there was a civilization in the bay. It had, great walls to protect from the storms, and was a place of fertile land and prosperous harvests. And then, with a storm rolling in and a party scheduled, someone rushed off home to the party too soon, and left the gates open, and the storm rolled in. It's said you can still hear the bells ringing. Although, of course, this would be from a long time, long ago now. So it's, even if there's an inkling of truth, even if there's an element of truth there, it's highly unlikely any bells would still ring. But it is bittersweet, regardless, I suppose. Some theories claim the city represents lost identity. You remember the name, but you never speak it aloud. Say it again. What? Will we make a ninth entry? one final thing. A final log. I believe we should, yes. I think I want people to find joy again. I don't know who you'll be or what language you'll speak. I don't know if you'll be so like us that we're indistinguishable, or if you're something else entirely. But whoever you are, I hope life has been gentle to you. I hope you find something soft, a garden, a song, a sunrise. And more than anything, I hope the cursed silence breaks, and that someone may laugh again. Let us seal the archive. The archive shall be sealed. And what will people remember? The archive is sealed, the world eventually rebuilds, as worlds tend to do. When it is rediscovered, the people who find it do not fully understand what it holds, but they understand enough. They rebuild slowly, they shape their cities with light and water, leaving space for nature, for life, and for change. There are people who chose to look forward, while also keeping the past alive, and so they sing the song you left behind, with their own imagined lyrics, and they tell the myth which once belonged to your people, though the endings shift. Knowledge is shared, not hoarded and sold as a commodity, or withheld to maintain the control of the few. The mistakes of the past are studied and learned from as they try their hardest not to repeat the sins of the past. Of course, there are days of hunger, of fear, of uncertainty, but there are also festivals in the ruins, and children naming stars that do not yet have names. And in the end, though so much was lost, they remember you. They remember someone who tried to leave them more than warnings. And as your final legacy, your final words are spoken as words of love between people. I hope life has been gentle to you. Well, that's a quick run through. I'll put the credits up. And yes, there are sound effects. But no, we don't have them on because we never play the sound effects for anything. Hopefully this was entertaining in some way. This system's signing out. Hope to catch you all next week. Please do remember to like, subscribe, comment, especially if you've got any questions you want answered. Be happy to answer them either in the comments or in another video. So catch you all next week.